So what we have here is a lamb shank. I'm gonna go ahead and take it off the bone and maybe take some of this fat off of here. And I'm using an old hickory butcher knife that I use for most everything. I like it a lot, it keeps a good edge. So I'm gonna cube this. Try to keep track of which direction grain is running. You want to cut across that grain as opposed to along the grain. And that just allows the meat to be as tender as possible. And that's about the size. Onion, pepper, garlic, ginger paste. That was the grated onion. I'm going to do the same thing with the serrano pepper. Try not to shoot any of this into your eye. You're going to be unpleasantly surprised if that ever happens to you. So I'll take the big chunks, I'll put them to the side. Clean this up. So now we've got our ground. Clean this up. Now we've got ground ginger, ground onion, ground green chili, minced garlic. And we're ready to start the process, it looks like. I'll go ahead and gather the rest of my ingredients. Finishing up chopping a nice red tomato. I like the waxed potatoes, the red potatoes. I like that texture. I'm going to put a rough chopped potato into this. Alright, all our mise en place is in place. So we've got roughly chopped potatoes, coarsely diced tomato, minced garlic, grated onion, ginger, green pepper, sliced rest of that green onion. We have a cardamom, a half of a bay leaf, and a little snap off of a cinnamon. Vegetable oil in the pan. Put these first three ingredients in there and let them go in that oil for a few minutes. Then I'll add the green onions, fry them down, and move on. We'll talk about that as we go. It's time to set up the Trangia alcohol stove and get the pressure cooker going. Everyone likes to see me light the Trangia. Drop the grill into place. So into the hot oil I've put half a bay leaf, a little bit of the cinnamon stick, 1 cardamom, and 1 clove. And I'm going to let that heat up and get into that oil for about 3 minutes or so. It's been a few minutes in the pressure cooker with those spices. Go ahead and take the lid off and add the sliced onion. Immediately smells so good in the boat. These spices are fantastic. It's really outstanding. It smells just perfect. Cardamom, clove, cinnamon, bay leaf, and now the onion. Boy, when we add the ginger and the paste, the ginger, and the onion, and the pepper, and the garlic, my neighbors are going to be coming from down the harbor. We'll let that go for a few minutes and we'll cut it back on. In goes the garlic, ginger, onion, green pepper paste. And we'll let that release its aromatics here for a few minutes. Probably not even that long. That Trangia really heats up this pressure cooker very, very well. And it smells so good. And it's going to want all the other ingredients in just in a minute. So I'm getting that all ready. In goes the turmeric, red chili powder, coriander. Along with that, we'll go the rest. Into this is going to go the rest of the ingredients, with the exception of some salt, the beer that I'm going to be using as the fluid, and the garam masala that we'll add at the very end. Tomatoes, potatoes. In there like that. And then just a little bit, mix that around just a little bit. The meat. Throw that away. Mix that up and let everything coat in the oil, in the aromatics. Okay. All right, I've got all the ingredients in here with the exception of a couple. Tomato, potato, got the paste, got the ginger, got the meat, got the oil, got the cardamom, got the turmeric, got the chili powder. I'm gonna cook this in here for 5 minutes or so, stirring every once in a while to brown the meat. Then we'll add our last ingredients, close it up, turn it down, and we'll be good to go. All right, it's been just a few minutes. It's to the point where I think it's brown enough. You can see where the stainless steel with its thick base, the thick stainless steel disc that's on the bottom, really distributes the heat coming off the alcohol Trangia stove. Everything's browned up. Everything smells really, really good. So it's time to go ahead and put the lid on top, cinch it down, lower the heat, and see where we can go from there. Now, the only things left to add to this pot before we can close it up and start it cooking is the fluid that we're going to cook in and salt. And if you remember, I already salted the meat at the beginning of the video. So I'm going to add maybe a half to 3/4 of a cup of some old beer that I have. That's about a half a cup right there. I'm going to come in from a different direction on this. So I'm going to come in down until I can get it in, rotate it until it's in its proper location, close the handle and the snap, put it over the heat, put on the weight. And now I'm just going to wait, see how it comes out. Now, your mileage may vary on this depending on the size of your alcohol stove or the other cooking sources that you're using. The Trangia did run out of fuel. I put about 2 ounces in. Right before I put the pot on to build pressure and cook, I went ahead and changed out that Trangia stove. Again, your mileage may vary depending on the size and amount of fuel that you begin with, but that's where we are with this. Now we're going to let it get up to pressure, put the simmer ring on, and let it pressure cook this for about 10 minutes before we're all said and done. Then we'll grill the naan bread, dish it up, and be ready to go. Alright, I have removed it from the heat and put the simmer ring onto the Trangia alcohol stove and placed it back onto the burner. I'm going to go ahead and set the timer now for 11-12 minutes to accommodate for the fact that I did have to take it off the heat completely to put the simmering on for the alcohol Trangia stove. And I'll do the unveiling once I've allowed it to come down to 0 pressure inside on its own. During that time, I'll go ahead and heat up the grill and grill that naan bread that I'll be serving with the meal this evening. As you can clearly see, that simmering where I have it set is just about perfect. It's somewhere between 1/3 and 2/3 of the way open, and that weight on top of the pressure cooker lid that's assuring that we have the correct amount of pressure is rocking nice and gently like it should. This is what the instructions mean when they say a gentle rock. And it's got a nice relaxing little sound. It hasn't popped again since we turned down the heat, and we've got about half a dozen minutes or so left to go. Alright, that's the timer. I'm gonna move the bread a little bit. Take it off the heat. I've got the naan bread on, and I'm moving it around to keep it from burning completely. Sometimes you have to improvise. I think that one was done. You can see how much flame these put out. I knocked this little one together here when I was waiting for the meat to be ready to cook. Didn't take any time at all. I'm gonna let it burn out and put this one out. Those are warmed up. So I need to open this grill up a little bit, grab this simmer ring, close it up. Pressure is off. Go ahead and take it off safely. Now it's just a matter of pushing down on the handle, pulling up the clip, turn it to let it out. I'm going to give it a stir. Seems a little thin. That was kind of something I was expecting. The starch from the potato should start to thicken that up. That potato is completely broken down. The last thing to add is the garam masala. In that goes. Another stir to get everything incorporated. Not too thick, not too thin. I'll plate it up and cut you back on. And here is the lamb curry all plated up. I'm choosing to drink a nice Malbec in my grandmother's coffee cup. Bring her along with me. Ready to dig in, it looks really good. Wow. I wasn't expecting that lamb shank to be that tender. I really wasn't. It's really good. It's really spicy. It's hot. It's really good. I'm gonna go ahead and dig in. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. Send me something that you want me to do, and we'll go from there. Appreciate y'all.